So that was really weird what just happened. Hi. This is another part of what's been going on with CPS. As I said this name right now while recording, the camera just shut off by itself. Pretty weird. People are saying, you're crazy, nobody's hacking your phone. I have confirmation from T-Mobile. I have Find My Location. It says there's 3 other phones out there. There's a Samsung 21. There's somebody on a computer. It's all there. There's malware on there that I cannot take off. I've already changed out my phone 4 times, changed out the SIM card. I had, because of all this that's going on, they took all my client lists. I had a successful small business as a handyman and for like 6 years. And all of a sudden, since this started, boom, no calls, no phone calls, didn't get any business. Well, I go, all my call list is blocked. I can't take it off. Then it gets erased. And it's been like that. It's been a struggle. So I can't get any business. I go to default. I'm facing eviction court. So I go to my eviction court. Thank God I had applied for rental assistance. And so I had all the paperwork. Everything was in order. I got approved. And I'm doing the Zoom hearing with the judge. And the minute that a volunteer attorney comes on and says, hey, I'm here to help you just in case you need it. You don't have to take it, but I work for the South Texas Volunteers Program. So we're just helping out clients that might need it. And I said, yeah. I said, well, it's pretty much all done, but I have a case coming up on the 17th for custody, and maybe you can help me with that. And she said, yeah, just fill out this, and boom, phone call gets cut. So I try to log back on to Zoom. I can't get on at all. And I'm checking the internet connection. I'm checking everything. And I'm at the front office of the building here. And everything's working fine. I could log on to anywhere else, but all of a sudden I can't access Zoom. So I'm like, okay, luckily, thank God, there was a phone number on there. So I got through, got to talk to the judge. Everything got cleared. They dismissed the case. I'm good. But the whole time I could not get through. And guess what? My court hearing on the 17th, it's through Zoom. So I'm going to show up there in person and just be there and just tell them, hey, I went ahead and I sent the judge a message through Facebook Messenger. That's the only way I can communicate with the judge, because my email's being hacked, everything's being hacked, my phone's being hacked. I can't get through. So what do you think? I mean, it's ransomware, but they haven't asked me for a ransom. I had my house broken into to take the laptop out of the hard drive out of my laptop, which had all the files pertaining to this case. I've had notepads stolen. I've had my truck broken into, and it's just all having to do with this case. So what does that tell you? So the mental health problem, right? Let's address that. So CPS calls me about a week ago, Yvonne Armagon, if that's her real name, and says, we're going ahead and closing out this case. And I said, wow. I said, you fought so hard and you put a safety plan with the court and everything. Well, all of a sudden, she says, no, we didn't find any wrongdoing. I said, so do I still have to take a mental health evaluation? No, we're not requiring you to do so right now. And I was like, really? You're not requiring me? So right before that, guess what? I had gotten blocked from going to that court again because they messed with my phone. I couldn't get on. I didn't know if it was there, if it was on Zoom or what. And so she says, yeah, we're not requiring you to take a mental health evaluation, right? I said, okay. I said, so when can I see my kid? Oh, well, that's up to the courts to decide. Like, she already knew. And sure enough, there was an order placed by Ilana and her attorney that said that I had to take a mental health evaluation and take a drug test, a hair follicle, and a urine test, right? I'm like, okay, whatever, dude. I don't do drugs. I can take the urine test, I can pass that, but I don't want to take the mental health evaluation because for any little thing, and they're pushing me to take it from the same place, Monarch Family Services. This is a private, like, hospital type deal, clinic. Like, CPS does not solicit from like these private, especially expensive places like that. Like, they'll send you, somewhere that they have a contract with or something. They're not just going to say, oh, go over here, go to this really expensive mental health wellness place. So I was like, whatever. So when I went, I had gone there one time, and there was this a little ornate type block that had some wording on it, and had some glitter on it, and it belonged to this Jewish lady from New York. And how did I know that? Because when I did a background search on Ron, I saw one of his associates. I don't have her name with me. I'll pull it up. And she had the same thing, the same exact little block ornate and everything in the background of her picture. I'll try to get that before I'm done and give you the name. But even more interesting than that, so the whole reason that they were saying that I needed a mental health evaluation because I was saying that cars were following me around. Well, about 10 years ago, when Ilana and I went to court against Ron, he had private investigators following me around. They marked my tires, to see where I was going. They were taking pictures. And Ron in court had said, where did you get this? Where'd you get this? This is a bug. This is a bug in my house. It was his. I never put a bug in his house. So anyways, one of the license plates, one of the people that were following me around all the time, I took down one of their license plates and I wrote it down. And all this crazy stuff happened. So then I just recently sent it to go check with a police friend of mine in Laredo. And he checked it out and he said, oh, he came back with the name. And it was registered to an Evelyn Ballard. And when I looked at Ronald's background, I saw the same name as one of his associates. And it was a 74-year-old lady. I don't think it was her, but somebody was driving her car. So, coincidence? I mean, I saw this car every single day for weeks. Everywhere I went, it was following me around. So, what do you think? So, anyways, now with CPS, right? So, I had been calling in and I'm asking, hey, okay, that's great. Thank you for, closing the case. I said, but what about what I originally called for was to investigate this man, Ronald Charles? They couldn't tell me anything. So I called and I'm calling her supervisors, right? Her supervisors are Marilyn Polk. Oh, Carol Smith is her immediate supervisor. And then it's Stephanie Hammond. And then it's Marilyn Polk. And then it's Monica Sanders. So I'm calling these ladies every single day. I've been calling them like for weeks, every day, to try to find out what's going on with Ronald Charles and to get clarification on why this happened. Why have I been away from my daughter for so long because of all this that's going on, right? So nobody answers my call. And from the very beginning, when Yvonne Armagon had called me, I saw on the caller ID, it said Albright. And I was like, I said, your caller ID says Albright? And she said, oh, it's the phone system here. That's the name of the company. And I said, really? So I signed up for publicdatacheck.com and I started looking up all these phone numbers. And sure enough, it does not belong to a phone company. It belongs to a Matthew Albright. 713-907-6895. It's registered to a Matthew Albright and a Doris Harris. So that's number one. So then I look up I look up her supervisor, which is Carol Smith, and guess what name comes up? Barbara Navarro. I'm like, okay, that's weird. So then I look up Stephanie Hammond, which is supposed to be the program director, and another name comes up. And that name is Elvia Rivera. Actually, it's registered to 4 people: Agustin, Gloria, Elvia, and Humberto. And before that, it was a Barbara Lester. Now, Barbara Lester sounds familiar. I could have sworn that I saw that somewhere, but I'll have to do more digging. So anyways, Monica Sanders, her phone number says unlisted or unknown. And then, so all these people's names, right? So now check this out. Whenever I called, except for Monica Sanders, everybody else had a voicemail message without their names. It would just go straight to voicemail and just say, please leave a message. That's pretty weird for an organization like CPS, so that when you call, you have no idea who you're leaving a message to or what. I mean, usually people that have been working in these county or, federal places or whatever, will say, hey, this is the office of so-and-so. Please leave a message. No, none of them. All voicemail, except for Monica Sanders. So I call internal affairs and I let them know and I make a report. And this was like a week ago. And I have yet to hear a phone call from anybody. Nobody has returned my calls at all. Nobody at all. So that's one weird fact, right? So another weird thing that had happened to me is I knew all this stuff was going on, right? So I wanted to report it to the FBI. So I put it on IC3, which is the government on FBI's website, so that you can, if somebody's doing internet hacking, malware, ransomware, whatever. So every time I tried to log on, it would block me. Like, it wouldn't go through. It wouldn't go through. And I said, you know what? I'm going to go to the airport and talk to Department of Homeland Security and give them the information. I had the files with me too. So I get there and I finally find these 3 guys, Department of Homeland Security. One of them's bald and 2 of them, other ones look Hispanic. And they're dressed, man. I mean, they got vests and guns and everything, right? And I start telling them what's happening, and they're like, okay, oh man, don't worry. Yeah, hold on. Let me get some information from you and blah, blah, blah. So I start like breaking down crying because I'm like, thank God, finally somebody's going to listen to me. So this bald-headed white dude comes back and he's like, here, this is a buddy of mine. He's an FBI agent. Just give him a call. He's in a meeting right now, but give him a call around noon and he'll get back with you and he could take on your information. So I was like, cool. So I went down to the Marriott there at the airport and I just sat down and relaxed. And then I got back up and I went to go dial the number and I couldn't get through. And so I tried again and some Mexican lady answered and said, huh? ¿Qué? No entiendo. And I hung up. So I go back to the dude and I tell him, and all the 2 other Homeland Security guys, Hispanic, are gone. It's just that white dude, bald-headed dude. And I tell him, hey, man, so I called this number, man, and nobody answers. I said, what's going on? And he's like, oh, he's going to be downstairs. All of a sudden, an FBI agent's going to be downstairs. So he says he's going to be downstairs at the HPD office here in the airport. They got our FBI down there. And so I start walking away and then I'm like, wait a minute. So I go back and I tell him, hey man, I said, where are the other 2 guys that were with you? And he says, what the fuck? What, man? Do you want some help or not? Like, just totally goes off on me. And I start thinking, okay, something's messed up here. And he gives me this look like he's going to take out his gun and shoot me. So I'm like, all right, man. Okay, cool. So I go down there and I go talk to them. They don't want anything to do with it. They don't want to see the files. They don't want anything. They don't know anything. No, you should contact HPD is what they tell me. You should contact HPD. I said, I have lots of times. So anyways, I left that situation. And there's a whole other story that goes along with that I'll tell you about later. But so another interesting fact, right? So I called, or I spoke with Ilana the other day, and I'm telling her all this stuff, and I'm like trying to find out if she's been brainwashed, if something's going on, because the dude's a certified narcissist. And how do I know? And I'm going to post everything down here. His daughter, Mila, was going to a therapist, Kelly Beecher. He's the one who put her in the therapist. The lawyer, Udi, knew about it, and she even cried to you, Udi, and you know about this, asking you to please keep her away from her dad, that he's brainwashing her. And when she all of a sudden had an epiphany, and nothing got happened. Nothing got done. They didn't do anything. So guess what? And me and Mila had a great relationship. Like, I love that kid. Like, she's my daughter, right? And but ever since this man knew I was living with Ilana, boom, he started using her against her. And that's all in the text too. He says there that how he's going to use Ilana or use Mila against him and all this. And so what he's doing is emotionally abusing his daughter. He's just hurting her and hurting her and hurting her and making her feel guilty and everything and pressuring her to hate me. So she starts hating me, right? So she starts going to a therapist named Kelly Beecher. And Kelly Beecher starts recognizing, hey, this guy's psychotic, like the father's psychotic. He's a narcissist, like certified narcissist. So there's a text message that I'll put below saying, hey, if Kelly really said that I was a narcissist and I wasn't a good person and all this stuff, I'm like, so like it's there. And I had called Kelly one time and spoke to her. And apparently Ilana had taken a recording of Ron about this whole thing. So because Kelly Beecher, the therapist, started finding out stuff about Ron, about him being a narcissist, guess what he does? He manipulates her. He starts getting to go out with her. And they start going out and dating. And then guess what happens? He turns it around on her and starts telling Ilana, yeah, we should get her fired. We should get her fired. So what happens if they find out there's a romantic involvement? You know, there's a code of ethics. So everything that she's done with Mila gets erased. Nobody gets to find out he's a narcissist and all this stuff. So there's a big cover up. But at the same time, I'm listening to the recording and Ilana's getting mad because he's having sex with her. And I'm like, okay, something weird is going on here. But she never wanted me to hear that message. But it was on Leah's iPad. And I had downloaded it. And I'll try to see if I could post it on there. But I want all this to come out, man. I want everything to come out. So anyways. So he's called CPS on me 6 times now. Right? And the first few times it was on both on me and Ilana. And it was all BS, you know. It's just him, like, trying to make me look bad or whatever. I got cleared every time. But the second to the last time, or the third to the last time, because I had warned Ilana, I said, you know, he keeps doing this. CPS is going to know he's making a false report, and it's a felony, you know. You can't be making a false report. So he gets Mila's therapist to do it, not Kelly Beach or some other guy that was a therapist. So he starts putting on the sob story and saying, hey, I need to get her away from this guy and blah, 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 blah. And so CPS gets called. Right. So they check me out, everything. We tell him, hey, this guy's a narcissist. He called in a bomb threat to his daughter's birthday party. He's done all this stuff. So I get cleared. Now, the second to the last time, and this is what makes me think Ilana's been brainwashed, is that she's in on it. There's a text message I'm going to post below where he goes to Jewish Family Services and starts talking to the director and does the same thing he did with the with the other psychologist and start saying, oh man, we need to get him away from this guy. This guy is just boom, I'm getting emotionally distressed, all this stuff. So he calls Ilana or texts her and says, hey, I talked to Jewish Family Services. Did CPS contact you? So what does that tell you, man? And when I asked her about it, she completely lied. She said Ron had nothing to do with it, and you know, I don't know what you're talking about, and all this stuff. And then I find this out. So I'm beginning to think, or what makes sense to me is that because Ilana sees a therapist, and they're trying to make me out to be a drug addict, which I'm not. But Ilana takes Adderall, Xanax, Ambien, antidepressant, butabitol, all these different pills. Like her desk drawer is filled with them. And she told me one time that she didn't even have to take Adderall but she just can't get going without it. So that's an amphetamine, you know? So she's addicted to it. So I'm like, what the hell is going on? So there's some text below where he says, every time you start taking a step forward, you do all this, or you let Caesar in your house. So he's just like laying it on her, emotionally abusing her till she feels guilty. This one makes me think she was brainwashed, but I don't know. And then he says, unless you want me to keep Mila and all this stuff. So he's using Mila against her, and all that stuff about the. Oh, okay. So one of his friends is Fernando Fuentes, and this is the hacker guy, right? So the hackers guy, I found the phone number 713-340-4666. 4666? I think that's it. 4666 or 4966. I'll make sure I write all these phone numbers down. So it's on Leah's iPad, and I'm like, okay, who is this? And I look him up on public data check. So he had an address on Imperial Valley, and guess what? That GPS address, or that address, is on Ilana's Lexus in her GPS. And guess what? And she says, oh, I don't know who that guy is. I don't know anything about a Fernando Fuentes. And I'm like, well, then why do you have his address on your GPS? So then there's another address on there that she lies about, right? And it's listed to Carol Smith's phone number, the supervisor to Yvonne Armagon. And the real name it's listed under is Patrice Michelle Coakley. And it's 18807 Barry No Lane. And that address was in Ilana's GPS. So, and this was way before any of this happened. But I had found some text messages from Ilana proving that she was dating or having sex with some other guy behind my back. And that's how this whole thing started, because I busted her and I found out. And so I started looking at the GPS in her Lexus to find out where she has been going. And sure enough, I find these addresses there. And these were the addresses, the Barry No one, the Imperial Valley. There was another one. I don't remember. I'd have to look it up. So, going back to that FBI agent, it's the number he gave me was 281-630-3969, and it's registered to a Benedict Livas, Gilbert Reina, and a Melvia Vila. So that's pretty weird. Now, the other day I asked Ilana, I said, hey, how come, because I looked up Ilana too, I said, how come you have two phone numbers? She said, I don't have two phone numbers. She actually has three, and they're all active. I said, yeah, you have another one, 832-443-0822. Her number is 0825, but this one says 0822. It says active. No, I don't know anything about that. I said, okay. What about 281 501-1669. Oh, I don't know anything about that. All right, fine. So those are another two numbers. Now, the people that sold her the house, Sean O'Connell and Lynn Shepard, right? This is when I was thinking there was some kind of deal going on, because when Ilana bought the house, it was supposed to be like 297,000, and now it's like way up. Well, you know, prices vary, but Ron has been doing all this stuff with all these different houses, and I just started thinking this is like some kind of internet, like a real estate scam, because if they're able to change the websites when you go onto them, they can change the value of the houses and make them look like they're less, and then buy them for less and then sell them for more and make it look like it's worth more. Like right now, Ilana's house is worth like 345. Like it jumped up $75,000. Right. Okay. So those are a bunch of interesting facts that I've been sending all these videos and everything to the judge, because this is the only way I could talk to her. So as more stuff comes in, I'm sure I forgot a few things, but I just wanted to give you an update. What do you guys think, man? And this whole time, the only person that's hurting is my daughter. You know, I haven't seen her. I've been in her life every single day for the past 7 years, and this is the first time that I've been away from her this long. The court only gave, oh, that's another thing. So this order was put in right when I wasn't there. Evidence was presented. I don't even know what. And when I asked Ilana, I said, this doesn't look like the judge's signature. Oh no, it was the presiding judge. I said, that doesn't sound right. Why would a presiding judge be there at Miss Judge Linda Marie Dunson's 309th District Court? Somebody else was there? Was she sick that day or what? So I said, who was it? Oh, I don't know. How are you not going to know the name of the judge that you spent like an hour in there talking to and trying to get all this stuff taken care of, and you're going to tell me you don't know the name of the judge that you just spoke to and filled out all this paperwork? Right. So the order says that I have to go get a mental health evaluation at Monarch and a drug test and hair follicle test. And so I know that in these custody cases, if they ask one party to do it, they ask the other party. They don't just say, oh, you need to go do this, take a drug test and mental health evaluation. No, they make both parents do it because, you know, they got to prove both sides. And none of that was entered into the court. So there's another text down there that says that Ron is saying, hey, oh, and Caesar, you know, oh, he likes to call me Skeg, by the way. That's his favorite name for me. He says, and Skeg has no rights to Leah whatsoever. So this was before. And then that didn't make sense to me at the time. But then also another text that says, oh, and you tell Caesar that he'll still be his dad, but, you know, we'll have to work, or you'll have to work something out with him. And then he says, if you want me to, like you said last time, or again, I'll adopt her. So, oh, and then one other tidbit. So this was a man, she said, you know, had never paid child support. In 10 years, never paid child support to her, or anything like that. When I went to go on the district clerk's website, I looked her name up because I was looking my stuff up, and all of a sudden, her and Ron pop up again. And there's all these different things that happen, and she won't tell me what's going on. But apparently, it's like, what I'm guessing, or what it looks like, is like that their marriage has been like erased, and he doesn't have to pay child support, or something like that. I mean, I'm not going to break in to her stuff and look that up, because that would make me like them. I'm not going to do that. But something's very weird, because she won't tell me. She says, oh, don't worry about that stuff. She won't tell me. What it seems like is like they're getting back together, they're getting married, which I don't care. I really don't. But if they're doing this stuff and they're hurting my daughter, and they're trying to take my daughter away and move away and lift the geographical restriction, which is part of their plan, and they're doing all this stuff to me, then that's illegal, man. That's not good. And I don't want my daughter with people like that, especially this guy that's a narcissist. And if she's a narcissist too, and they're doing all this stuff, I mean, emotionally abusing my daughter. And I'm going to post the videos of that later, but I'll show you the emotional abuse that my daughter has suffered. The videos are very, very sad, and I wanted to send them to the judge and stuff, but this is just getting way out of hand. I can't get through to the police. I can't get through to an investigator. Nobody, you know, is helping me out. I can't get through to the FBI so they could look into it. And they're still going with their story that I'm crazy. And I'm over here with proof, man. Like, I got proof. And I still have the files and everything. And of course, they block. Like, if somebody tries to call me, they block. Go get another phone, Caesar. I have 5 times. Go get change your SIM card. I have. So, I'm just hoping that the judge sees this and recognize that I love my daughter, man, more than anything. I just want to see my daughter. I just want to hug her and hold her. I haven't been able to do that in 3 months. And it's all because of these people that are just doing this stuff. Like, for what? Because you want to take my rights away? Because you want to move away? It looks like they're trying to move away to Dallas from some of the stuff I saw on the files. And man, I'm just like, and then what hurts me the most is that Udi, the lawyer, which I thought was a great guy, he's in on this. I mean, there's got to be ethics involved. Like, yeah, I mean, you're not supposed to be doing this if you're a lawyer. Like, hiding people's emails and not letting them not show up for court, and going to in front of the judge without you knowing that you're looking for them. I mean, come on, man. Seriously, I've been a great dad to Leah. I love her very much, and I've been there every single day of her life, and now this happens. Why? There's no reason for it. I need people to help me out and get the word out there, and look into the CPS office at 2500 Bolsover Street, which I know is baloney, man. There's nobody there. There's no office there, or at least these people aren't there with these phone numbers. So, Judge, I hope you're getting this. Members of the media out there, give me a call. You probably won't get through because of the phone hacking, but come meet me at my apartment. It's at Smart Living on Telephone Road, 3852 Telephone Road. I'm at apartment 4304. Come on down here. Come take my story, interview me, put me online. Let's get these guys, and let me get my daughter back somewhere safe. That's what I need to do. That's what I've been praying to God every day for. Is just to get my daughter out of this situation and put her in a safe place. So please help me. Thank you for your time.